Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on Mzansi Confessions. So just a quick reminder, we created this channel, is called European Confessions. If you are interested, you can head over to that channel and listen to those stories and also subscribe. So the link to that channel is in the description box and also in the comment section. Let me read for you a message that I received. It reads like this. Hello my brother, I want to confess that I cheated on my husband with his best friend. I am not proud of my behavior because what I did is very wrong, but this is my own side of the story. I've been married for 10 years and these years have been hell on earth. I got married in 2013. We were so madly in love. He loved me in such a way that I had never been loved before. I met him when I was tired of dating men who didn't know what they wanted. From day one, he told me that he was looking for a woman to marry, and this was what exactly I was looking for. Fast forward, we got married and had a very big wedding. To be honest with you, I don't know what happened to him. He just changed. I am this loving, soft and sweet woman, but maybe I just brush off the red flags. Yes, I did see those red flags, but this guy, he was loaded, he had money, and I wanted to be married to someone who was going to be able to take care of me, who doesn't want a man who is financially secure. He was rough from the time I was pregnant with our first baby. He will beat me up, push me on the wall and call me names. After a fight, he will then apologize and go onto his knees and buy me gifts. Yes, I still remember that there was this other day I was just sitting and watching TV. So he came from work and I was watching this other favorite show of mine on SABC1. So as we were watching that show was about a man who was apologizing to his wife because he had been so abusive towards his wife. So as we were watching, we began to debate. We were just discussing about what was happening in the show. Then out of nowhere, he just slapped me. That night, he got so angry with me, so much that he pushed me against the wall. I was so scared. In my heart, I told myself that God, today is the day whereby I'm going to die. He was so rough towards me. I actually told him that you are hurting me, and I was pregnant. After that incident, I bled a lot. I rushed to the hospital, but they told me that the baby was okay. So he pushed me against the wall and he called me names. He punched the wall so hard that I cried. Then after the fight, he then apologized and got on his knees and he told me that I'm going to buy you something new. Which gift do you want me to buy you? I was like, no, it's not going to solve anything. Then he cried and he said, promise me that you're not gonna leave me like the way my mom left me. That's when I realized that I was dating a broken man. The worst mistake that I did was to try to fix him, but he never cared. He was so cold. He never cared for my parents. He even never cared for me. I remember very well that my mom once came to visit us and I asked him to go pick her up from the bus rank, and he told me that it's not his mom, so why should he go? If I wanted anything, I had to ask from my family since I had moved to the other city and left my job. I remember very well that he would go shopping and he would only buy himself lots of clothes whilst I was standing right next to him. So me, the way that I am built, I'm someone who have those big calves. So each and every time that I will go out with him, you'll be mad and say, why are you showing off your body? Who do you want to see those calves? Wear a very big dress. So I was someone whereby I was not allowed to wear trousers or anything that will show off my body. I would wear these big summer dresses. Even when it's cold, he will say, just wear those summer dresses. Life was just terrible for me. You know, when you are dating an abusive man, in the end, you actually think that you are the one who is abusing him. What he will do is that when he is at work, he will just start a fight over the phone. Just a simple thing. Then he will start a very big fight. And if you try to tell him that, why are we fighting? He will just blame you and blame you and blame you. Then when he comes back home, sometimes he will just cry sitting on the bed. So what I'll end up doing is that I will apologize to him and give him sex. Then he will be happy. So life was like that. In the end, I was so emotionally drained gained. I started to eat a lot and I gained weight. Like in the end, then he started calling me names like, "You're too fat. Who's gonna want you if I divorce you?" So what destroyed me inside was the day that he told me that I no longer find you attractive when it comes to sex. He said these words when he was on top of me. You know, he had sex with me, but I felt nothing that day. He finished and he went to bath. He never said anything afterwards, but in my heart, I was so destroyed. He loved his family, and his mom sometimes will place orders each and every week, and he will send his family money. If there was anyone who needed help or had a problem, he would be number one to offer help. He was a very nice person to everyone except for me. When I was working with him in the street, people would think that I'm the luckiest woman on the planet. And what hurt me the most is that when I was working with him, himself, the way that he will be dressed, he will be this attractive guy. And me, I was like this woman who was clinging on to him. He will greet attractive woman as we were walking maybe in the mall or somewhere. And I was like this person who kept on following him around just like a little puppy. He never had time for me or our son. He was never there, and every time that I needed something to be done or go somewhere, he will send his friend. I was not allowed to touch any of his car. He had 5 cars parked in the carport, and yet I was not allowed to touch any of his car. So I knew my place, and I would use public transport to take me for my errands, or else call his friends who was always available to come and assist me. I gotta admit that I reached a down point in my life whereby it was like I was living in this dark tunnel and there was no hope, because my husband got this gym membership card, but only for him. He told me that I was fine. I had no need to go to the gym, but I was gaining weight because on a couple of days, I'll be so depressed that I'll just go to the fridge and take a lunch box of ice cream and just chaw on that ice cream until it got finished. And on his part, he will go to the gym and work on his body. He got so attractive that in the end, I was the one who would beg for him just to have sex with me. And when he had sex with me, it was like he was doing me a favor. So in my own home for about 7 years, I had a timetable whereby my husband will have sex with me. And the way that he will have sex with me, usually on Sundays, he will just tell me that go to bed and undress yourself. So then I would just go to the bed and lie on the bed and wait for him. And when he came, he would just sit on the bed and masturbate himself. And when he see that his manhood is now okay, then he would just come on top and do his thing without even kissing me. When I tried to kiss or to reach for him, he would just put my hands aside and say, no, just stop it. Let me finish what I'm doing. And when he finishes, he will just climb off from me. Then he will go and bath and come back to bed. He showed no emotion. He was like cold, like a stone. There were many times that I would try to joke with him. He would just look at me and smile and continue what he was doing. He loved reading newspapers a lot. When he's home, he will be just holding his newspaper reading. Even if something funny happens on the TV and you're like, baby, just look at the TV. He would just look at the TV, then pull up his newspaper again until we went to bed. I spent so many years without seeing my parents. And if I spoke or something along those lines, I will be told that he didn't have any money. I wanted to look for a job, but I was not allowed. He never cared how the next human being felt like. I never felt so lost in my entire life. I was very patient for 9 good years. He would chase me from his place, then I would go sleep outside because I had nowhere to go. His mom didn't want anything to do with me. She hated me. She said that I was fat. One night he slapped me in front of his family. I mean his sisters and his brothers, because according to him, I didn't put enough salt, hence I had embarrassed him. His family looked at me and they laughed. I was indeed a stupid woman. I cried myself to sleep. I went back to the fridge and I grabbed a 5 liter of ice cream. He mentioned something about how fat people eat their way to being fat. I just went to bed and I ate that ice cream until I fell asleep. Because of depression, I will usually go to Pick n Pay and buy a packet of assorted sweets. Sometimes I'll eat about 100 sweets on a go. I'll eat so many sweets whereby I will feel dizzy in the end. If I came up with a business idea, I was immediately silenced. I was not allowed to do anything challenging, except being his punching bag. He would feed his ego with abusing me. When all of this was happening to me, there was always people watching. Most of his family, they will be watching, and they knew my pain, but they chose to remain quiet. On any given day, if I made him angry, he will take everything that he had ever bought for me, cell phone, clothes, wallet, bank cards, and leave me with a SIM card that I only bought. He would even take the coins in my wallet, saying that these coins was his money. So this other friend of his noticed all of this. So this other day, I posted my picture. That picture was like from way before when I was still fine. So this guy, he commented on this picture and he was like, "Is this you?" And I was like, yes, this is me. And he was like, "Why have you gained so much weight? Why don't you exercise?" And I was like, "No, I'm not allowed to exercise." So he told me that he himself, he felt sorry for me because he had been heartbroken so many times. We spoke and we spoke and we spoke. Sometimes we'll speak throughout the night because my husband didn't care who I was talking to on my phone. So this guy, my husband's friend, he asked for some of my old pictures. And each and every picture that I will send him, he will just like comment like, "Whoa, you're a princess." Then one of these days, I asked my husband that I want to go with the kid to the clinic. "Please, can you give me a lift?" And he refused. So I asked his friend. So whilst we were going to the clinic, when we arrived at the clinic, before the guy dropped me off, he asked for a hug. I was shocked. I was like, "Why do you want a hug from me?" And he said, "Please just hug me." Then we hugged. From there on, I felt something in my heart. All I wanted was to know that I was still a human being with 5 senses. This guy appreciated me. He kept on telling me that I was the most beautiful woman that he had ever set his eyes on. At first, I rejected him because I didn't want any drama in my life, and yet something in me yearned for a calm life and a loving relationship. And also this thing whereby most of the time I was not having any sex with my husband. And this guy, it was like he knew, because on this other day we were just talking on WhatsApp. Then out of nowhere, it was like boom, he just sent me a nude photo of himself. And he was like, "I want you so much. Can you see how much I want you?" It was like electricity had just hit me. I just sent him a message and I was like, "Can you come over now? I want to speak with you." I had no intentions of sleeping with him. The only thing that I wanted was for him to come, sit down, and then we have a chat and we discuss what were we going to do. What if my husband finds out? So the moment that he walked in, he locked the door and my heart was banging against my chest. I felt so weak in my knees. My body was giving in. He grabbed me from the back and he stripped me naked. And he was like, "You are the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen." He kissed and we made love on the kitchen floor. Month end came, but my periods never came. The second month, I realized that I was pregnant for him. I went to Clicks and I bought a clear blue. Yes, I was pregnant. I told him that I wanted to do an abortion, but he said no, I should keep that pregnancy. I kept the pregnancy and the baby was born, a baby girl. I cheated on my husband and I had a baby with my husband's friend, but my husband doesn't know. My husband said that we should have another child, but I went to the clinic and I took some family planning, and I never told my husband. I just told him that I'm trying, but we can't have a baby. I don't know why. Lately, I've been thinking, since I am on my husband's life cover, if he wakes up in the morning a dead man, I'll be the one to benefit. Dear listeners, that was a confession that was sent to me by our dear sister right there.